this evening, man. Just an incredible leadership and an even better friend. Please help me welcome our number one income earner, Mr. Dave Savula.
I told you in the lobby a minute ago, this is the first time in 20 years that I didn't do the briefing. I actually sat and listened to a briefing, and what an incredible job he did. Let's give a big round of applause.
Woo! All right now!
I won't keep you long tonight. Obviously, many of you spent a great deal of time getting here tonight, and I appreciate it very much. And just listening to Rip Mason, really an incredible guy. He really is. When Mid-Ocean came aboard with us 2 years ago, and I met Rip and I met Alan Fernley, I knew right off the bat that we had entered into the big leagues. And we had got to a point where this company was ready to go from where it had been for almost 40 years to where it's going to be in the next 10 years. And all of you here tonight that are guests for the very first time and listening to the presentation about Legalshield, I sat where you sat a number of years ago, and I heard the presentation, and of course I made a commitment to it over 20 years ago to become an associate, but over 28 years ago I became a member. And I think that's where I'd like to start real quick and just tell you about the fact that the membership is what makes this company grow. This is a real deal here tonight. We've got the only product really in America tonight that's marked down, not marked up. And it's pretty easy to figure out that an average of $300 an hour for an attorney, and you can get access to top attorneys not only here in Illinois, but throughout the country for as little as $17 to $26 a month. There ain't no better bargain in the world than what we've got here tonight. And that's what's causing us and causing the momentum of our company to start to grow faster and faster each and every day because of the need for it. Tonight on the way in here, a gentleman sat beside me. That was a big mistake for him. Real good guy named Tony. And Tony sat down, and of course we started talking, and make a long story short, he eventually asked me what I did for a living, and I said, Legalshield. And he said, what's Legalshield? And I said, well, you're a pretty educated guy, you're a businessman. I says, I'm amazed that you don't know anything about our service or our product. He says, I've never heard of your company. And I started explaining to him a little bit along the way, and the more I started explaining, more questions that he started asking. And make a long story short, I have an appointment with him on Friday when I get back from New York because he has 175 employees in Atlanta. And he started thinking, he said, my employees should have this product, shouldn't they? I said, no. I said, they won't need this. I said, really? I said, I was just having fun with him. I kept taking it away. And he finally started waking me up because I wanted to take a nap. He started waking me up. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this and this and this. I said, Tony, you're going to own the product when we land. And I says, after you buy it, he said, I am. I said, sure you're going to own it. I said, smart people buy this membership. And I says, I hope I'm not a bad judge here. And so he said, okay, I'll get it. I'll get the membership. I said, let us see what we've got. But, the point I'm trying to make is that nobody knows who we are. And Rip's message tonight was simply the fact is nobody knows who we are. We're strictly an offensive football team on the football field with no defense tackling us. And we're out there, we've got a $60 billion industry, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think about that just for a second. Statistically, $60 billion, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. And we haven't even hit $1 billion yet. And we really have no competition. Some people, well, I've heard of a legal plan before. No, you haven't. You've heard rumors of something, all right? But the fact of the matter is, there's no comprehensive legal program in the world other than Legalshield. And that sets us apart from everybody out there today. And that's why Mid-Ocean and Mr. Alan Fernley and Rip Mason, the new leadership we've got at the head of this company, and where we're about to go is just extremely exciting. And our facility for our guests tonight in Ada, Oklahoma, I got to tell you, my first trip there, it was hard to get to because Ada is not a vacation spot. And in fact, when I showed up there 20 years ago, it was late at night. I thought maybe Edison had missed this place. And I had to stay at a hotel, and the founder of the company was Mr. Harlan Stonesider. We mentioned his name several times tonight. I stayed at a hotel that I swore was called the Green Frog Inn. And Mr. Stonecipher, 20 years later said, there's no hotel ever in Ada called the Green Frog Inn. I said, Mr. Stonecipher, you got to remember, a few weeks before I got here, a tornado swept through here. And I says, I don't know what it spelled before I got there, but it was the Green Frog Inn. And here's what I want to get you excited about tonight. When I went to Ada, Oklahoma back then, and I visited the facility, my wife Beverly and I grew up in a little town in Ohio. We grew up on the same street, 10 houses from each other. We've been married 43 years. I've known my wife since she was 5 years of age. And we covered really cute little football town in the state of Ohio. Just a small little school, one of the top 100 little football schools in the country, small school of mine. And her father worked for was a driver for Bond Bread. Remember those Bond Bread trucks you saw as a kid? And my father worked in the rubber shops in Akron, Ohio. And most of the things we ever had in life were new-use things. So we don't come from wealth, is what it comes down to. But we do come from good families and good people, where people cared about people. And I was involved in corporate America, so I saw the other side of the world. But when I got to Ada, Oklahoma, it was interesting, because when I walked into the home office, people were wearing letter sweaters. And I said, why would you have a letter sweater on? And I said, does the company require you to have this letter sweater? And they said, no, we got these all on our own. I said, you're so proud of the company that you work for, you actually organized and went out and got letter sweaters? I thought that was the strangest thing I'd ever seen. But these were the same people that basically wound up at the Friday night football game together in Ada, Oklahoma. They went to church together, they associated together, families grew together, they were community orientated, and they brought that kind of ethical type of feeling to the home office in Ada, Oklahoma. And that struck me. And I knew when I got to Ada, Oklahoma, after growing up in Ohio, I made a full circle in my life, and I came back to homespun apple pie American flag, where people cared about people. And I knew right then and there I wanted to be a part of the growth of this company today, because what we're doing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing something really right. We're helping people in this country like they've never been helped before. Each and every morning, people get up in the world of Legalshield and have an opportunity to be able to solve problems and issues and challenges that they could have never solved at $300 to $400 an hour. We've opened up the gates of which again was only welcome to a few, as Mr. Mason was talking about tonight. And if you can just think.